When a business grows across borders, not all assets carry the same level of risk. Some generate steady value while others attract operational exposure, legal claims, or regulatory pressure. The problem is that many owners leave everything sitting inside the same structure, often without realizing how much everything is actually exposed. Over time, one issue in one wrong place can affect far more than intended. That's when people start looking for a way to separate risk without losing control, flexibility, or international credibility. So in this video, I'll explain to you how a DIFC foundation can be used to isolate high-risk business assets, where this approach works well, and where it doesn't, as well as how it fits into a broader asset protection and structuring strategy. Before we start, if you would like us to help you with your asset protection and legacy planning, you can request your free and customized asset protection plan by clicking the link in the description below that you can implement step by step on your own timeline. The DIFC Foundation is not a trust or a company in the usual sense. It's a standalone legal entity governed by the laws of the Dubai International Financial Center. Foundations were introduced to the DIFC regime specifically to allow both private and commercial clients to separate, own and manage assets with a high degree of control while maintaining asset protection and flexibility. Unlike a company, a foundation does not have shareholders or partners. Instead, it is governed by a council and guided by the charter and bylaws. This unique structure is especially powerful when you need to isolate high-risk business assets from the rest of your holdings. So imagine if you run a successful operating business, perhaps a consulting firm, a trading company, or an online business, or a service company with international clients. The business generates good cash flow, but it also comes with exposure to commercial disputes, client claims, regulatory scrutiny, or contract risk. At the same time, you may have assets that you consider long-term or core, such as intellectual property, brand ownership, or investment assets you do not want tied to the day-to-day business risk. If everything sits inside the same company, one legal issue or one claim can potentially expose all of it. This is where a DIFC foundation fits into the picture. In most well-structured cases, the foundation does not run the operating business itself. The operating company continues to sign contracts, deal with clients, and take the commercial risk. The foundation sits above the operating layer and owns assets that should be protected from daily exposure. This often includes intellectual property, brand rights, investment holdings, accumulated profits, or shares of other holding companies. In high-risk situations, the foundation may also own the shares of the operating company itself directly, but this is a deliberate decision based on risk profile, jurisdiction, and banking considerations. The legal mechanism is simple. The foundation is created under the DIFC's law with its own independent legal personality. Assets are transferred into the structure and managed according to the foundation's charters and bylaws, which can be tailored to your risk appetite and long-term plans. The foundation is overseen by a council, often including the founder and trusted advisors or family members, and may also have a guardian to ensure that the structure is used as the founder intended. The result is a transparent, compliant framework that global banks and counterparties understand and respect. Now, you may ask that why not simply use a holding company? Holding companies are useful, but they still have shareholders, and those shares can become the subject of legal claims in divorce, bankruptcy, or personal litigation. A foundation has no shareholders in traditional sense. This makes it significantly harder for personal legal issues to reach the assets held inside the structure. The foundation's charter can also impose clear rules on how assets are used, when distributions are allowed, and what risks are acceptable. Control is another frequent concern. Can you still run the business? Can the structure change over time? Well, with proper planning, the answer is yes. Founder powers can be built into the documents. Council member can be replaced. Governance rules can evolve as your business or family situation changes. This flexibility is one of the reasons foundations have become so popular with business owners and family offices using Dubai as their main base. From banking perspective, DIFC foundations are well understood. They are regulated, transparent, and aligned with international compliance standards. This makes it easier to open and maintain bank accounts, compared to many offshore structures. Banks know the DIFC, they understand the governance model, and they are comfortable with the level of disclosure involved. However, there are limits to this structure, and it's important to be clear about them. A DIFC foundation is not a way to hide assets or avoid taxes. Transfers must be done properly, and the structure must be maintained with correct governance and compliance. If misused, it can be challenged. When designed correctly, however, it provides strong protection, clarity, and long-term stability. Succession is another key advantage. The foundation continues to exist according to its charter without disruption, probate delays, or forced transfers of ownership. This makes it especially valuable for founders planning for exits, families with international assets, or anyone thinking beyond the next few years. If you're managing high-risk assets within a global structure and want a clear way to separate risk while keeping control and flexibility, a DIFC foundation is worth considering. With the right guidance, it can bring clarity and long-term security for your business or family. And if you would like us to help with this, you can request your free and customized asset protection plan using the link in the description below. Well, that's it for today, and I will see you in the next video.